Now, my thing is this, Keke, you still broke the pact. At the end of the day, I don't care who you was telling. You still broke the pact that you were not supposed to be speaking on Latisha's marriage in any kind of way. And then you running to tell Mel makes it even worse. So I don't know how Keke and what delusional mind she got thinking that that's not breaking the pact. Like, girl, you still broke the pact, okay? Hey everybody, welcome back to the Brandy Yvonne channel. Of course, I'm your girl, Brandy Yvonne. Y'all already know here at my channel, we do fun reviews, recaps, and discussions of all of our favorite shows, y'all. It's Saturday night. We got to talk about Owen's Love and Marriage Huntsville Season 6, Episode 32, Reunion Part 1, y'all. Please do all the things, like, comment, subscribe, and share. Continue to support the channel, y'all. We got to get to these next milestones. So I do appreciate it when y'all hit that subscribe button. It means the world to me. If you subscribe to the channel, drop down in the comments and say what's up. And I'll say what's up back. Share the video where you got to share your content. And please hit that thumbs up button, y'all. The algorithm been playing a little bit lately, so we got to, make it do what it do. Now, I know I told y'all I would possibly go live for the reunion, but I was realizing with my schedule, I'm going back to work Monday. Y'all pray for me. And I haven't been at work, since, December 22nd, winter break. I'm a teacher. So I had to be realistic about my time. So this is really the only time I had to do this review. So I'm going to just do the video this time. Hopefully, I don't have anything planned for next Saturday. So hopefully my goal will be we can go live like after the reunion airs, part 2 airs next Saturday night. And then worst case scenario, we could just talk about it all after all 3 parts. But I'm going to plan to go live for next week, okay? So look forward to that. But like I said, this week it just wasn't going to work. Also, speaking of going live, tomorrow tune in to Shayna McDee's channel. Me, her, D Movie Man, JB Says What. I believe the name is still Dope. I don't know all the names of everybody that's going to be on there because I got some new people that I'm just meeting. But we are going to do a live panel review for Ready to Love, Make a Moves reunion that came on yesterday. So check that out, 6 p.m. Eastern time. That'd be 3 for me, y'all. I got to remember that. I put it in my calendar, though. So anyway, check that out, y'all. Join the live. Drop down in the chat, get in the conversation. We all have a lot of thoughts, so please check it out. I did do my own review for that episode yesterday, and that video is uploaded. So make sure you watch this and then go watch the Ready to Love review. Also, we'll be back with a regular season of Ready to Love next Friday. Okay, enough with the housekeeping, y'all. Let's get into this reunion. I also wasn't too pressed to go out going live because this reunion was good. But I feel like there's so much more to talk about, so much more to uncover. It was a good bang. It was a good, fresh start out the gate. Okay, like a good warm-up. I wasn't mad at it. So, Carlos did say this is like their 4th reunion. And so they asked, he asked them, did they think they would get there? And Kimmie said after the first one, she felt they would get to this point. Now, let's backtrack. Carlos likes to do the Andy Cohen thing, and he goes to see everybody in the dressing room. He went to go see Mel, and Mel had on a blonde wig, but she's gonna put on that black wig. She looked pretty with the blonde hair, but the black definitely went better with the look. He said, "Okay, I see you. You coming activated. You coming to do, give us something this reunion." He's like, "Cause last year," and then he flashed back, and she was just staring. And looking last year, I guess last year she was on mute. She kind of was. She had like a little attitude last year, okay? But she's coming different this year. We not mad at that, Mel. Go ahead, girl. He goes to see Martell. And so he's like, "Okay, Martell, you looking good. You getting home cooked meals?" And he's like, "That's the thing. I don't really have anyone to cook home cooked meals for me." So then he said, bleep, because they bleeped it out, cooks for him sometimes. I'm assuming that's Coleslaw, aka Ariane, okay? He talked to Maurice and Kimmie. Maurice is looking like the worst husband this season. Stormi and Courtney. Courtney, please don't throw no money at him. And then we went to Latisha, Marsau's room. They got on the boxer robes, right? Okay, I wasn't mad at the boxer ropes. I mean, it's been done and it was a little extra, but I was here for it. I love how production is in on all this. They playing the boxing, Marsau. It was a lot. It's like this whole reunion was shady in every single little bit and cranny of it, and I was here for it. Okay. Now y'all let me know what y'all thought of this part of the reunion overall. Like I said, overall, it was good. It was solid. It was a good solid start for me. Now, let's talk about the looks. First of all, Carlos, you look good in your red. I told you on Twitter. I didn't tag you though, but you look good in your red. Marsau and Maurice, basic, giving nothing, men's fashions, you know. As far as men, ooh. Look at that. As far as men goes, I would definitely say Martell was best dressed, hands down. He could definitely wear a suit, hate him or love him. He can wear a suit. Okay, he looked good. I'm on the fence when it comes to Courtney in that pink suit. I'm on the fence with that one, but you know he looked good. As far as the women go, Stormi, she looked pretty in her pink. Her and Courtney were giving a little bit of prom for me, but she did look pretty in her pink. She was very elegant. Kimmie's outfit, I didn't like it initially. When I looked into all the details of it, it looked good. Her hair and makeup were on point as usual. The whole look together did look good. I wish I could have saw the shoes. At first, the dress looked a little bit ill-fitting in the front to me, but then when I saw it and I saw the cuts, and I was like, oh, okay, it grew on me, like I said. And I don't mind a dramatic sleeve. You know, y'all know how I am. As far as best dress for the women, for me, it's between Mel and Tisha. Like, Tisha ate. Tisha looked good in her outfit. Tisha looked good in her outfit, okay? And an outfit like that, you can't be ill-fitting. Like, you can't have nothing out of place. And everything was in the right place. She looked good to me. And the hair was very nice as well. I noticed she got a kind of similar look to the Latisha from Belle Collective. I watched the reunion, even though I don't really watch the show or review it, but I just happened to watch the reunion last night because it came on after Ready to Love. They kind of had a similar hair and colors a little bit. But anyway, and then Mel had her Renaissance tour look with the silver and the boots. I liked it because it was different. Now, was it giving like reunion look? No, it was very much giving I'm going to the Renaissance tour. However, I like the fact that it was out of the box. That's what I did really enjoy about it. All right. So, you know, Carlos asked about, you know, did they think they'd make it that far? Okay, moving on. When they came out, I forgot to mention when they came out, Maurice, I guess he kind of stepped on Kimmie's dress and made her trip. And so Carlos made a joke with him saying, like, can you have, you know, Kimmie's back for once? And he won't always have her front, but can you have her back? And he said something about he liked to have the back or something like that. And so Carlos said he do too. And Kimmie was like, no, y'all doing too much. You already starting out wrong. And then when they introduced Mel, you know, so Carlos was being shady with every introduction because when he introduced Mel, he was like, okay, and Melody. And before he said the last name, he looked back at Martell, and then Maurice said Rogers, and then Marcel's like, Rogers. I was like, y'all are being so shady. Also, when he introduced Stormi and Courtney, he did say Mr. and Mrs. Steele. He said, oh, I mean Beasley. I wouldn't know his name, you know, the names ain't either. I wouldn't have known if they didn't tell me, okay? But anywho, like I said, it was shady from beginning to end on this episode. So we get right into it with the whole, you know, everybody's getting back to business this season. And so they talked about the whole Black Business Expo, and they did the whole package about that. So they, you know, Carlos basically talked to Marsau and Tisha about, you know, how did you feel about, you know, everybody coming at you about the Black Business Expo? And so Tisha's thing is like she was tired of all the criticisms. Like, you know, they had a good, successful event. They got a lot of people in the community say they really like it. They're going to do it bigger and better for 2024. But she feels like everybody in the group didn't really give her props like that. She didn't really feel supported. And so Mel was like, well, I did tell you, like, I thought it went well. And I said about the good and the bad. And so Marsau said, you know, Maurice, Martell, and Melody definitely did support. Carlos was like, what about Kimmie? And so Kimmie was like, I'm sure I did say, like, she felt like it was a good event. She said, but I also can talk about what needs to improve. And so I'm sure Kimmie told them it was a good event. But it's things y'all could improve on. And I think that's the issue I had with Latisha is take the constructive criticism and put in it what you need. If it's something you can't use in what they said, throw it away and make 2024 bigger and better. That's all, girl. Even if you don't use nothing they said, act like you might use it, okay? Anywho, so then, excuse me, y'all, I'm still coughing. So Latisha was just saying, like, you know, at the whole town hall thing, people, you know, Marsau said, let's listen to everything. At that point, she was tired of hearing all the criticisms. So Carlos turns to Mr. And Mrs. Courtney and Stormi, Beasley and Steele, and said, you know, oh, side note, let me back up. Because Carlos said, how do you feel about people talking bad or coming for your business acumen this season? And so Marsau said, oh, they were? Like, he said, I didn't feel that way. I didn't catch it. He said he didn't catch none of the shade y'all threw at him. Anyway, back to Courtney and Stormi. So, you know, Carlos said, how do you feel like they are, you know, on the same kind of power couple level as y'all? So Courtney proceeds to say, well, I don't know. So then before Courtney could even speak, Tisha cuts him off, which I hate she did because I did actually want to hear what they said. And even Carlos was like, I wanted to hear them, Latisha. And so she's like, they're always coming with negativity and I don't like that. And so then this proceeds to turn into this big argument. It wasn't the biggest argument, but it was an argument between Latisha and Stormi. So the first time I watched it, I didn't know what the hell they were saying, okay? And now the second time I watched it, I had my closed caption on because I watched it on my other TV. And then I was kind of reading it word for word. Then when I rewatched it the third time, because I wasn't ready to record yet, and so then I kind of caught wind of it, of what was going on. So basically, Tisha was saying that, oh, when Stormi is getting along with you and she good with you, she has positive things to say. She came in black and was saying, y'all need to pop y'all collar, this is y'all stuff and all that. But then when they not get along with you, of course, they have negative things to say. I feel like that's what everybody, Tisha, that's how it works. But I get what you're saying, girl. And she said, you know, Stormi, you need to be paying your money. You're not paying your invoices. You need to do some of that TikTok money and pay your bills. And so Carlos was looking shocked, like, girl, she don't pay her bills. So Tisha said, no, she does not pay her bills. She be getting calls from everybody saying, like, yeah, girl, she didn't pay me either. And she owed all these invoices. And so Stormi's like, okay, you talking about stuff from the internet. Now, I didn't know if they said in the internet and that the streets is talking that Stormi don't pay her bills allegedly. I don't know nothing about that. I don't follow all the social media stuff. So if y'all know about it, drop it in the comments. But I was like, oh, Stormi not paying bills allegedly. So then Stormi's like, girl, like, be quiet. You wish you could get on my level. Like, I make this much money in a month. You don't even know. And then Stormi said, you know, I was an overnight success. I blew up very quickly. She said, as young black, you know, entrepreneurs, we didn't have anyone to lead us and guide us and tell us what to do. And, you know, basically I was overnight sensation. So I feel like, you know, you shouldn't even be coming at me about this, basically, because we're all like kind of learning this together. And so she was like, yeah, but you wish you could beat me. Like, come talk to me when you make what I make in a month and all that stuff. And Tisha's like, girl, please, girl, please. And so then they're going back and forth and back. Now, mind you, Marsau was kind of telling Tisha, like, tapping her leg and saying something. And then he interjected a little bit. And Courtney's like, nope, it's me and you, Marsau, it's me and you. And so Marsau's like, okay, we here. Because they was like, nope, men is not getting into women business, you know, all that mess. So anyway, I thought that was funny. So it was like a lot happening on the stage, right? And then, like I said, Stormi and Latisha are going back and forth the back. They arguing and all that. And Tisha's not like, girl, you need to pay your bills. And she's like, why don't you go pop some pee? Oh, because Stormi is saying, girl, you be rehearsing all your lines in the car. You be reading your scripts in the car. And so Tisha said, girl, go pop you some pills and shut up. I was like, oh, popping pills. Now, everybody was wondering from the trailer, like, did she say that to Stormi? Because it looked like she said it to Stormi, but we're like, well, maybe she said it to Keke. No, she said it to Stormi, y'all. So, Marsau told her, okay, you went too far now. And she did go too far. Like, do Stormi pop pills, allegedly? We never heard of that, so that was a lot. But Tisha came in, you know, Tisha's hot. Tisha's been quiet all these years, like she said, Tisha is hot. So then they shifted gears to talk about the whole copy and paste thing from Stormi's website and Latisha's website. And so Carlos asked, what did you feel about that? Stormi said, first of all, it ain't even about how I feel. She said, I gave your ass grace on that, you know. So Stormi's heated about that. I don't blame Stormi. Like, you copy and paste it from the girl, that is what it is, right? And Latisha, Carlos is like, okay, you know, Latisha, what's up with this? And so Latisha explains how she got somebody, you know, we know the story. She got somebody to do it, all that. And so Carlos was saying how he would have handled it. I felt like, I don't know, I felt like he didn't really hold Latisha accountable enough, you know, in that moment. But I get what Latisha is saying as well. Like, it's not something she did personally, but then the day comes on you. And then Stormi kind of reiterated that, like, you know, we're all people in business. And if we do something in our business, we have to, you know, sit in that and pay the consequences for it. And so then they basically did the conversation there. Then we moved on to talk about Kimmie and her health thing and Maurice and all that. So Kimmie is cancer free now, thank God. And so Carlos asked her about, like, you know, what was going on with your sex drive at the time. And so Kimmie did say she thought she was just depressed, but she talked to her doctors and they told her that was a side effect of the medicine. And so that she had a decreased libido. And so then Carlos asked Maurice, was his member depressed? And he said that, like, so depressed that you just had to have Kimmie, you know, like, roll over and be a champ and take it. And he said, no, he was ignorant at the time. He learned a lot from being in the situation, and he does apologize. Thank you, but no thank you for that apology, Maurice, because it's a little too late. And Maurice is a very, very, very smart man. He's a lawyer. He has all these businesses. He does credit repair, all this good stuff, right? You can't tell me, Maurice, that you wouldn't think about the fact that your wife may not be able to perform sexually while she's in cancer treatment. Like, duh. So I just can't buy that he was just so ignorant. I can't buy that. Like, you're smarter than that, Maurice. Like, come on. You were doing it to be an a-hole and probably for the show. And so Carlos then goes to say, like, you know, people were thinking, Kimmie, like, you know, Maurice is just climbing on top of you doing his business. It could have been possibly some SA going on. And so, you know, Latisha, everybody looking all shocked. Yeah. So Kimmie said, here's the thing, like, having sex in her marriage and having good sex in her marriage has always been important to her. So, you know, it's not just a Maurice thing. It's important to her as well. She said the thing is that, yeah, I feel like I had to fake it. Like, that was the best choice for me at the time. She said the thing is I probably should not have said it, because if I wouldn't have said it, like, everybody would be happy. And I do agree, like, she could have just kept it to herself. This would never have been a storyline, because it became an issue once she said she fakes it. That's when it became a big issue. But, you know, they need a storyline, y'all, so of course they're going to say it. So, Carlos asked, you know, have you faked it before, before being sick? And she's like, yeah, you know, of course, all women fake it, even if they're sick or not sick. And Maurice is like faking it is not a good thing, because Maurice is like, you know, it's not good or bad. And so Maurice is like, no, because then that's not being in reality. And he said moving forward, he wants to do whatever he has to do to please Kimmie so they could both get there. I call Cap again, but whatever. Marsau said, well, maybe you're just not good at sex. Maurice is like, maybe I'm not. I'm 45 now. So anyway, so Carlos asked everybody on stage, like, have you faked it before? Latisha was like, you know, good sex is important to marriage, but she finally did admit it. And she said every woman has. And so Mel says she has. Stormi says she never faked this because Courtney pleases her every night. Okay. Hey, if that's true, that's true. But yes, all women have faked it, of course. But you're not supposed to tell your man you fake it. That's, yeah, don't tell the man you fake it, okay? Unless you want to hurt him. Because men cannot handle that. And we clearly saw that, right, with Martell. So Martell, because she asked, because then we changed Mel, because remember Mel said she was never satisfied with pleased with Martell. And so she said, yes, that is correct. And so Martell's like, what? The bed was wet. The bed was wet. And so Carlos said, well, what about Martell's sex had you dissatisfied? I was hollering at that part. I was like, Carlos, these questions are too much. So then Martell was like, what? Like, I got a left hook, right hook. I got a turn and all this. I got all this. So like, what you mean? So everybody was cracking up. And so then she was like, yes, I was not satisfied in the marriage. So then he all standing up like, girl, what? Like the bed was wet, what? I was like, sit down, Martell. So then she said, it's all of that right there is why she wasn't pleased. Because one day he'd be all lovey-dovey, the next day he'd be cold and off-putting. Of course, your body reacts to that. So then after they had that whole like sex talk and stuff, then they went to break for lunch. So now we get stuff backstage. You know, we always get a backstage tea. So backstage, Marsau is telling Latisha that she went too far. She's doing too much. Like, you don't need to be bothered by whatever they got going on. Like, when we get done with this little spat, we got to focus on the Black Business Expo. You got to be a businesswoman. You need to be a businesswoman. Latisha thing is like, she is tired. She's been nice for all these years. She hasn't said anything all these years. She is tired. Like, she's pushed to her breaking point, basically. And I understand that, Latisha, and I'm glad you're speaking up. I love activating Latisha. I'm not mad at it. She spoke up a little bit more throughout the season as well, but she is fully activated tonight. However, I would appreciate Latisha going forward. Girl, if we could just work on nipping things in the butt in the moment. Because then when you come to the reunion activated, like everybody has already moved on past what you now mad about. And then it becomes passive aggressive, which is what everybody doesn't like about Latisha, right? That's the thing we don't like about there's things we like about Latisha, some of y'all don't, but there's things I like about everybody on the show, things I don't like about everybody on the show. One thing I don't like about Latisha is a passive aggressive thing. So let's work on just nipping it in the bud in the moment, Latisha. But I am mad at activated Latisha on the reunion. She told Marsau, like, because he's like, you know, with something plain analogy, she said we got to agree to disagree. Like, no, she tired of this girl getting under her skin. Stormi said she want to come backstage and now come on the reunion now. She want to have some balls. And Courtney was like, I never heard her speak before. I was shocked to hear her speak. And so Stormi said, I was giving her grace, but now I'm about to give you hell. I was like, well, Stormi, I already thought you was giving hell, girl, but okay. Let me see what Stormi hell looking like. So Maurice and Martell talking backstage about how they can't believe Mel said she faked it, and Martell felt like she was lying, and they talking about, oh, even if you go for hours and hours, if it's not good, it's not good. Both of y'all tired. Mel said, you can't, he want to come in there that macho stuff. You can't tell me about my body. You can't tell me how my body reacted. I said, that's right, Mel. Okay. So, then we get back to the main stage after everybody had lunch. We have all the ladies on stage and Marsau. So they did the whole package about how Marsau was getting into all the business with the ladies and all that. So Carlos said, raise your hand if you feel like Marsau gets in all the women's business. Kimmie feels like he gets in everybody's business equally. Marsau said, my thing is this, you can't say you want to be treated equally as a woman and you have a problem. And then, you know, we have other men on this show who want to give their opinions about stuff and all that. So then of course, people have a problem, they're going to come to me. But Kimmie is like, we didn't come to you with anybody's problems. Like, you getting in everybody else's business. Very true. And I don't like when Marsau makes these statements like, oh, women, you want to be treated equally. Like, no, we should be treated equally. We are equal. Not saying a woman can do everything a man can do, and a man can do everything a woman can do. I'm not saying that in that regard, but I'm talking about like equal pay, equal rights. Okay. So, Then they got to the whole Stormi calling Marsau a B word when he came over there asking for that $100 and tapping on her shoulder. And so Marsau said, he was offended by it at first, but, after talking to Stormi and she said that that's the way she talks in her culture, then he understood. Now, Stormi did say those words. So, like, y'all watch my other reviews, I was kind of like feeling weird, like when they went to play pool and Stormi was offended by what he said about the culture thing when she is the one that said it at the barbecue. That's where he got it from her. So I didn't know why she got offended by that, but it is condescending because Marsau's a condescending a-hole. So anyway, Carlos is like, okay, Stormi, Stormi, I didn't know you were another culture that was not African American, but is that something you typically do, is call men the B word? And so she said, I'll call them that if they're acting, sassy, if they're acting like that, if it fits. She said, Marsau, like, he tries to poke at people and get a rise on people to get camera time on the show. And so he doesn't have integrity. Like, he's not acting like a real man. Real men have integrity. So that's what he does. So he acting like a B, I'm going to call him a B. And so Marsau's thing is like, he don't really care about what Stormi has to say. Like, her opinion of him doesn't really matter what she has to say. I was like, ouch. So then, we went to Latisha because Carlos was like, Latisha, people were like, why are you allowing Stormi to call you your husband the B word? And I thought that same thing all season. Like, Tisha, this is where you need to be activated, girl. Even in this moment, you could have got activated. But I think maybe in the back of Latisha's mind, she kind of wants Marsau to get a little smoke. That's what I think. So the teacher said, first of all, Stormi is a grown adult. She can't allow her to do anything. She said she did think it was strange that her as a woman would call a black man out of his name like that. She's like, I feel sorry for Courtney. Like, I want him to blink twice if he needs help. Stormi said, girl, we've been feeling sorry for you. I was like, dang. So then Latisha said, basically, our strong black men go into this world and they have to deal with so much and they get disrespected. So, like, how dare we as women disrespect them? And Stormi was saying from the sofa, black women too. And she said, I would never disrespect a man like that. And Marsau would not disrespect me like that. He would not allow that. My thing is this: as African American people, as people of color, we are all disrespected in this world every day and have to deal with that. I've heard black women, especially in older times, say, they want to, I think it was an episode of Blackish, she wants to make her man's plate because I think it was the grandma wanted to make the man's plate because he has to deal with so much in the world out there. The least she could do is, try to uplift him in the house. I'm all for that. I love that. That's beautiful black love. However, black women are constantly and consistently disrespected out here in these streets as well. And just the same way as black men deserve respect, black women deserve equally as much respect. Okay? It goes both ways. It's a mutual thing. So, then I believe they shifted gears to talk about how Marsau felt about, with his talk with Mel and how he tried to downplay her business and all that. And so Mel said she didn't find, she thought it was a little bit, out of the way, a little bit of a mess, but she also thought it was funny because it wasn't true. And she brought a present for Marsau. So she pulls out this t-shirt that says, I sell t-shirts. It is a big old shirt too. And so Marsau made a joke saying like, oh, you gonna bring me a 2X? And they were like, oh, it look like a nightgown. Teacher said he gonna wear it tomorrow. He probably will wear it. And so they threw it back and forth at each other. Okay. I'm glad they could still have fun shade with each other because they could not have done this last year. There was no fun shade last year. So I like when the show can get into it, have some serious conversations, be real, don't be fake, but also still have fun shade where it's not dark, right? And the show had kind of gotten dark, and that's why Carlos had to go to Huntsville and talk to the people. So anyway, so Carlos said to Latisha, but I think, do you feel like Marsau doesn't want you to get more successful than him in the businesses and everything? And so Latisha said, no, she doesn't think that. Like, Marsau knows, like, she has her own things that, you know, she wants to do and all that. And so Mel was like, yeah, but Latisha, you said you wanted to, you know, before we fell out, like you said you wanted to do all this. And then Marsau would say, no, he didn't want you out there like that. And so she turned to Kimmie like, didn't that happen? So Kimmie didn't really say nothing. And so Marsau said, I have no problem with Latisha, you know, going out there and getting success. And so Carlos was like, but you don't want to be a power couple. And so Marcel's like, no, because what I feel about power couples, he's not into the whole power couple thing. And so Mel was like, but no, didn't he say, wasn't I right, Kimmie? And Kimmie was like, well, yeah, he is the face of the company. So I think Kimmie didn't really want to get into that with Mel because she was very hesitant to answer, right? And so Latisha said, you know, Marsau knows that she has her own things she's trying to do and all that. And so Carlos said, you know, for him, you know, let's talk about, like, he doesn't see that if there's a problem with Latisha going out, getting, you know, 3 degrees, all her certificates and all that, and, you know, contributing to the family business and putting back in the school and all that. Just as long as, you know, like, basically Marcel's thing is like, as long as she's not being, I guess, successful outside of school, I think is what they were trying to say. And so Marcel was like, if you're saying like, we have a family plan and goals that we have, then yeah, like, yeah, we've had the same goals since the beginning and we are a team. And so yeah, I want Tisha to go out there and get her degrees and all that. But then if she's coming back and say, okay, now I want to sell journals or now I want to do something else, then I'm not talking to her as a woman or a business person, whatever. I'm talking to her as my teammate. Like, I thought we were on this plan, but now you want to do this plan, right? And then Carlos shifted gears to talk about the whole Tisha wanting to go back to be a stay-at-home mom because she's missing being a stay-at-home mom. So I guess Mel didn't see that part of the episode. So then Mel's like, wait, hold on, wait, what? And so Carlos is like, yeah, let's really talk about this. I feel like we don't have this conversation up because Tisha was missing being a stay-at-home mom. And Carlos said, do you, Marcel, fear that Tisha will end up being like Mel? And so he said, a single divorced woman, yeah, I don't want to get divorced. I was like, oh, the shade. And so then, and he also in that moment about going back to being a stay-at-home mom, Marcel was like, yeah, she has a choice. Some days she could be a stay-at-home mom and some days she not. I was like, oh, really? Now she has a choice. Okay, Marcel, because season 1, you were talking the way Mel said you was talking, but now Marcel is different. I do think that Marsau is still going to be a condescending a-hole because it makes great TV. But I do think he is trying to kind of, and it's Rox, she kind of explained it better than I think I can right now, but kind of take some hits to like prop Tisha up more, to like kind of help her image with the show. I think he is trying to kind of, for lack of better words, maybe support her more and kind of help her be more likable by being more of an a-hole. I don't want to say by being more of an a-hole, but by kind of setting Tisha to be the hero in their situations, or be the winner, for lack of better ways to explain it. So Tisha said, yeah, so Marcel feels like Tisha, well, let me backtrack. Carlos asked Tisha, did you get caught up in the whole wanting to be a boss, I gotta be a boss thing? And Tisha said, no, she never got caught up in all that. But Marcel thinks she does, but she said, I know myself. She said when she had MJ, she was a stay-at-home mom for 2 years, but then her family talked to her and said, like, girl, you can't be dependent on no man. You a hard worker. You got to get back out there and go to work. So Tisha said she got back into the work field. And so Marcel said all single family, strong women named Rogers, the women of Rogers. So he had his leg crossed, right? And Mel finally caught the shade. It took her a second. And she said, Marcel, uncross your legs. being sassy, let me cross my legs, you being sassier than me. That's what we talking about. Yeah, he was throwing shots at Mel. That was funny. So this is the part that I actually found the most interesting about the whole episode, really. This conversation about women wanting to be a boss. And so Marsau said, you know, the thing that Tisha fears, he fears that, because Carlos asked, do you fear that like she's gonna blow up and be this like successful thing? And so he's like, no, I fear that she's gonna, you know, blow up and miss the three things that's most important to her right now, which is her kids. And so Melody's like, wait, hold up, no, how's she gonna lose her kids? She was like, he's like, yeah, because she wants to be the PTA mom, she'll still make the kids breakfast. So Tisha was not in her head in this moment. And so Mel's like, oh, hold on, I be on Fashion Week, I be on, you know, flying here and there, doing speaking engagements, all that, but I still got time to be the classroom mom, make my kids breakfast, come to the Thanksgiving this, and do all this with my kids. So don't try to say, like, she can't do it all. Like, how's she gonna lose her kids? Now, this conversation of, can we do it all as women? Of course, you know, we're super women. We can do it all. We're gonna go to work. We're going to come home, we're going to make the dinner, we're going to take care of the kids, we're going to help with homework, we're going to take on soccer practice. Of course, that's what we do as women every day, right? Now, I don't have kids, so I would love somebody, a mom with kids, whether you're married or not married, to drop in the comments on this part and chime in, because I do feel like social media kind of pumps people up, especially women. Like, oh, you gotta be a boss. You gotta have all these businesses. You need to have this and that and LLC and this and that and that. And everybody, which is great. Great. If you're on that track, you're on that level, hats off to you. If you are able to create multiple streams of income, great. If you're doing all that and you have kids and a husband, good. Like, you're doing it. I'm not knocking people who are doing that. That is amazing. However, I think that life may not be for everybody. Everybody's not meant to be an entrepreneur, right? Also, how realistic are we being about our time? Like, this is something I have to challenge myself with. Like, I'll say, oh, I want to do this today, this. Really, I'm not gonna get all that stuff done in the day. Like, this, no, but there's people who have great time management who can get a lot done in the day. And hats off to you. Like, I'll be like, dang, if I had kids, I would be struggling right now, because I know I struggle with my own schedule. And if I had to incorporate kids in that schedule, you know, that would be hard. I'm trying to work on my time management, though. And that's one of my goals for 2024. I already started in 2023. But I wish we could have went deeper into this conversation where Carlos was trying to go about the whole moms and, you know, trying to feel like you got to be the boss lady and not be the stay-at-home mom, because sometimes maybe being a stay-at-home mom for some people is looked at in a negative way, which it is not. That is just as big a job as being any boss lady, okay, or any job out there in the field. That's a 24/7 job. A mom is a 24/7 job. So my thing is, yeah, can you go do all these engagements and modeling and speaking and whatever else you're out there doing in the world and still be at home taking care of your kids at the same time? Is that a realistic ideal in theory, really? This, I guess, is what I'm saying. Y'all let me know what y'all think of that in the comments. But I always think of stuff, you know, thinking about that. Like, of course, like I said, we could do it all as women. We gonna make it work. But we can't be more than one place at a time also. So I think I just want people to be realistic about what they can do and what they can accomplish. And there's people who have help. Like, Mel has her mom and the babysitter, and or all the babysitters, as let Martell tell it. Also, Martell can keep his own kids sometimes. So, but there's people who don't have support with their kids, so maybe they can't go out there and do it all. So I don't know. I just I think it's a good conversation to have, and I wish we could have went deeper in it, but we ain't got time for that. So you know, they said, okay, Marsau, you survived the time with the ladies. So the last part of this reading, we get Keke. Do you love me? Now, Keke, I didn't see her outfit standing up, so I mean, she looks pretty on stage. The Twist was cute or whatever. To me, she never looks fully put together. But I'm gonna say she looked good. They did this whole thing about, Carlos being shady. Talking about, you looking just like Latisha, and they talking about looks and all that. Y'all look dead alike. Y'all look like y'all could be sisters, okay? As much as y'all hate each other, y'all look like y'all could be sisters. So anyway, they played the whole Keke package, right? So Carlos said, okay, Keke, why did you break the pact? If you and Tisha said y'all weren't gonna speak on her marriage and all that anymore, why did you break the pact, girl? And that's the same thing I'm saying. Keke, why did you break the pact? So Keke says she did not break the pact. She said Tisha's the one that came to her with the whole situation with the cheating thing and they doing all the sound effects, beeping it out. So they explain that whole thing again about the guy on the phone and the FaceTime and all that. So Carlos is like, okay, but because, Keke told Mel. He said, okay, but then why did you tell Mel all that information? She said, because Mel asked how we were doing, and I knew Tisha was mad at me at that time, so that's what I told her that. Now, my thing is this, Keke, you still broke the pact. At the end of the day, I don't care who you was telling. You still broke the pact that you were not supposed to be speaking on Tisha's marriage in any kind of way. And then you run in to tell Mel makes it even worse. So I don't know how Keke and what delusional mind she got thinking that that's not breaking the pact. Like, girl, you still broke the pact, okay? So then Latisha turns to Carlos and said, this is all very messy, Carlos. I never came to talk to Keke about anything. They bleeping words again. And so Keke called Latisha dumb. Latisha's like, don't call me out my name because I didn't call you out your name. And then she said, dumb. Keke was a mess. Keke made good TV though. As much as I don't like Keke made good TV. And that's why she on the show, y'all. So, Keke said, so Tisha's thing is like, I don't feel like, when she was having this conversation with the guy on the FaceTime, it was coming from a concerned place. And that's why Keke was calling her dumb. He said, you're not picking up on what you being delusional about. You being delusional. So Carlos was like, okay, what is she being delusional about? We're asking you, Keke. And so she said that she got a cheater on her arm right there. So everybody's like, well, who? And Carlos was like, well, who has he cheated with? Even, I think Marsau was saying who. And so then Tisha was like, I've never come to her these 13, 14, 15 years. I've never come to her and said Marsau was cheating with anybody. But she has came to me about cheating rumors that she's cheating on her husband. Amin has cheated on her. And she even paid somebody to go on a date with Amin when they first got together. I was like, damn. And Keke didn't flinch. I remember in the previews, Keke was like, and so it must be true, but I was like, Amin got the nerve to cheat on somebody? No shade, but shade. I don't know. Didn't they say Keke a college professor, though, y'all? Let me know about that in the comments. I don't know. But y'all let me know what y'all thought of part 1 of the reunion. Like I said, I thought it was good. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Don't forget to check out the panel. The link is on the community tab on my channel. The panel will be on Shana McD channel. And I'll talk to y'all again soon. Bye.